When I was around 7 years old or so, my family decided to move from Canada to Lebanon. I know, usually people run away from back home to the West, but we did the opposite. Even people back home didn't really believe it when we tell them. شو جيت من كندا لتعيش بلبنان. Oh, عم يحكي عن جد مجانين. But it was really an attempt to get closer to the extended family, to the language, and the deen, of course. And alhamdulillah, that experience brought a lot of positives, and I definitely learned a lot. But it also did scar me for the rest of my life. Seriously, though, there was some less fun memories, and I think a big part of that was definitely the Lebanese schooling system. Unfortunately, it really soured my experience. But before I really get into that, let me give you some context so you know where I'm coming from. See, I came from the Canadian schooling system. This is a world in which if you spell your name correctly, or just close enough, you get a gold star and a high five. No, Bobby, 2 plus 2 isn't elephant, but elephant does have 4 legs. Sarah, don't eat those crayons, Sarah. I will give you a silver star. Don't make me. So I basically went from this supportive, positive, encouraging environment to, well, the complete opposite, more or less. Everything was different at school. I mean, it even starts with the school buses. See, in Canada, we have these nice yellow school buses with those red stoplights. But not in Lebanon. Instead, you have those Volkswagen camper vans. And of course, our Deathmobile was super cramped. But the thing I remember the most is definitely the bus driver. He was quite the entrepreneur. See, one year he decided he wanted to make more money. And naturally, if your business is owning a bus, more kids equals more money. The bus was already packed as is. No more kids could fit. So what do? Well, as a non-Lebanese entrepreneur, you'll probably think more inside the box and say, just get a bigger bus. Okay. No. Let me tell you what this guy did. He just took the seats in the bus and sawed off the backrests. How does this solve the problem exactly, you might ask? Let me explain. No matter how many kids you squish in a row on one seat, there's a limit. Sure, their bones are more malleable at this age, but there's only so many you can pack together. But, what if I told you you can double that number? You can make it 8 kids on the same one seat. No. I'm not saying you make the kids sit on each other's laps, though I'm pretty sure he considered it. Instead, as I mentioned, you just saw off the backrest. Because, stay with me here, it's going to blow your mind, because when you do that, you can make the kids sit back to back. Yes, that's it. Amazing, incredible, ingenious. You've just doubled your capacity on the same bus. You've doubled your income and probably doubled the dangerous level. But who really cares? Just brilliant, really. And subhanAllah, you gotta admire the guy's resourcefulness. So yeah, for the rest of my time at school, I had to use some kids' back as a backrest, and he was able to fit more poor souls into that bus. So alhamdulillah, I'd somehow arrive every day in one piece. And I think my first week there helped summarize why I grew to resent school in Lebanon. See, as a new kid from a different country, they made us do these sort of preliminary tests to see if, in Canada terms, let's say, if you're a Silver Star student or a Gold Star student. So anyways, on one of these days, I had just finished the test and everything was going fine. I was waiting for the current teacher to leave and the next exam to come and I can go home and be safe. But before this one teacher left, he decides to ask me if he can borrow my pencil. I don't know why he picked me out of all the kids, but he did, and I gave it to him because you don't disobey a direct order from a Lebanese teacher. So he takes my pencil, does his thing, and he just leaves. Dude pieces out without returning my pencil. And here's the problem. I had nothing else. I don't know why I was so ill-prepared that day, but that's all I had. So I start panicking and sweating buckets, blood pressure goes up. I mean, you have to understand, this is Lebanon, man. I don't know anyone. I don't trust anyone. What do? I have nothing. Now, before I can really grasp the situation and calculate a solution, he walks in. He being the guy that would go on to be my least favorite teacher, my arch nemesis, so we'll call him Ustad Arch. So Ustad Arch comes in, he quickly hands out our papers, and dude sits back. Meanwhile, I'm there without a pencil, so I'm all fidgety, panicking, stressing out. What do? I have nothing to write with. I can't ask the kid beside me to borrow a pencil because Ustad Arch will think I'm cheating. So what do? I think about it and I decide I just got to do it. Gotta say the shahada, bite the bullet, and just be honest with him. I'm sure the dude is reasonable, right? So anyways, I stand up, because that's what you do in Lebanon when addressing a teacher, and the convo goes something like this. Ustad, ما معي قلم اكتب فيه. شو؟ ما عندي قلم اكتب فيه. ولا شو عم تقول؟ I start panicking. I figure let me just explain the situation. الأستاذ من قبل هو. But it was too late. ولك ما معك قلم? And dude just bursts a blood vessel and rages, and in a split second picks up some notebook, probably some other kids, and literally flings it across the room and into my face. Yep, if you're following along, the guy thought the appropriate response was to pick up a notebook and throw it at me. I know it sounds made up, but this is a true story. No idea what happened after that, to be honest. I was just stunned and dazed. I don't remember if I actually got a pencil or if I just sat there empty-handed and failed my test. My mind was just in so much shock. It apparently didn't create memories after that. All I really remember after is going home and wanting to cry to my mom. And that was that. Which gets me to the whole point of this episode, to the bigger point. And no, it's not about moms, but it's about what this experience taught me and how I unlearned that. Now, let me be an armchair psychologist for a second. Here I was as a kid in a new country, with a new culture, new language, new everything. I had no friends. I knew no one. And naturally, I was always timid, shy, and quiet just to begin with. So this experience with this teacher happened at a time when I was still trying to figure things out. And so it really had a bigger impact on me than it probably should have. It made me feel even more isolated, more unsure of myself. Essentially, it made me lack even more self-confidence. This is because this small moment, looking back, ingrained in me this idea that every small action has a disproportionately negative reaction. If you forget to bring an extra pencil, you get kamehameha, a notebook at your face, and you will be scarred forever. You say one wrong thing and someone will hate you forever. You try something new and it will backfire in your face. That was my motto for a long time, unfortunately. And the point of this video is to say that, no, that's not how life is, alhamdulillah. And I hate to be cliche and generic, but it's a really important lesson, I think, that we should carry with us. And I think one ayah that helps summarize what I'm trying to say is, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
قُلْ لَن يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا.
It's a powerful ayah that obviously can be applied to much more serious trials in life. But I think even in everyday life, if you carry this belief that nothing will harm you or afflict you except what Allah has written for you, it's an awesome reminder, because Allah will only give what is best to His believer. For example, that experience in Lebanon had a negative effect on me, sure, but as silly as it sounds, it actually planted some real khushu' in my heart from a young age. Not making this up, but I'd literally sit on the benches before school and pray deep from my heart. You know, the type of dua you make when you want to get married, right? But I'd pray that deeply, and I'd ask Allah that He didn't make me forget a pencil, a paper, a ruler, that I didn't get hit that day, and so on. So that negative experience was actually good for me. Allah had it written that I'd go through that, remember it till today, share it with you and learn from it. And that's the whole point I wanted to try and share with this video. So keep that eye in mind, stay close to Allah, have a positive outlook in life, and inshallah you'll never go wrong.